Hello there, greetings, and welcome to the inaugural episode of the Dragons of Stormwreck Isle. My name is Jake. I will be the dungeon master of this adventure, and I am joined by a magnificent group of gentlemanly, adventuring type peoples. Starting, some of you may know, some of you may not know, so I would like everybody to just at least say your name. We'll start with Michael. A little spoiler alert, it's Michael. We'll go
My name is Michael.
There. If you want to shout anything out, everybody's got their Twitter handle there, but you know.
So let's you're talking about my character or me or whatever.
Just you. We're doing it live. Lots of practice here today.
Yes, exactly. I'm Michael. I'm Master Yoda. I am pretty much everywhere you can find me. I don't stream. All I do is just come onto these D&D because JnJake happily keeps inviting me back. But yeah, this will be my third campaign, so with a couple one-shots, not included. But so I'm really looking forward to this, and looking forward to playing with a couple new people as well. So I'm gonna pass it on to Nooch.
All right. Hi. As previously stated by Michael, my name is Nooch. I can be found on Twitter at NoochTheBarkeep. I am hyperactive there, let me tell you. So if you're in for some quality content, that's the spot. Super stoked to be here. I started playing D&D because of Jake, because we worked at a bar together 600 years ago. And
like what, 10 years ago now, maybe, or something like that.
It's been a frighteningly long period of time.
Time keeps moving.
Yeah, they are changing, as they say. And we'll go to my right to Rick.
So, my name is Ricky. You might know me as Ricku Twitch on pretty much every platform. Ironically, other than Twitch, where it's just Ricku.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Which is funny because I haven't streamed in like probably 2 years. Might start doing that again at some point. But yeah, excited to play. I play a lot of D&D, but never online, so it's kind of new. It's kind of a new experience for me.
Love that. And we everybody who's on this channel should know this guy here, Josh.
Oh, yeah, it's me. I'm Josh. I'm the real Josh T, one of the J's. It's good to be like an actual player. It's nice. It's been a while to be a player with Nooch, I'll say, because it's been an even longer while for that. I'm excited to play again with Michael, to play for the first time with Ricky, and I would also, the only thing I think I could possibly shout out is I'd like to shout out Michael. You can find him at Twitch, MSTRYoda_I_am.
Yes.
And definitely check him out.
You can. I think I have like 55 followers, and I don't stream ever.
Stream. You can like activate affiliate.
I don't ever stream.
Yeah, that's great. Well, yeah. So this is a wonderful cast of characters we have assembled. You're gonna get to meet their characters soon. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do that and like the video. And gentlemen, shall we get started?
Yes.
Yes.
I didn't get that memo, but I'll shout out Southdown Coffee's Sure Shot roast.
Love it.
Shout out Highwire.
I'm ashamed to shout out what I'm drinking.
PBR.
No.
Oh, what is Jake drinking?
No, it's...
Simpler Times by Trader Joe's.
Oh, all right, that's fine.
It's just
Could be worse.
Is that an adult beverage, or is that just like a soda?
beer. It is beer.
It's like getting beer 30.
Pretty much.
Beer 30 was what we drank at Binghamton. It was $10 for 30 beers. And they came in purple cans. The logo was a clock. And every 15 minutes it said beer. So it was just an enigma wrapped in a nutshell.
I love
That sounds painful.
The next warning was, for sure.
Yep, I can see that. But why don't we get started, fellas? I'm so excited. I'm going to start with my favorite piece of music, Sunrise of Flutes. It's a peaceful day on the Sword Coast. The sun is shining and the weather is temperate. One might even call it the perfect day to set sail on a new adventure. Although you each have your own reason for why you're heading there, you are all bound for Dragon's Rest, a tiny cloister dedicated to the dragon god Bahamut, located on Stormwreck Isle. You are not on a large boat, but to say it's cramped would not be accurate either. In the passenger section of this ferry are 5 humanoids of some kind or another. The gentle breeze carries with it the all too familiar scent of sea salt air. And it is at this point in time I would like to start with Michael to introduce his character, and I want to go clockwise and end with Nooch for a specific reason. So Michael, the floor is yours.
So I play Fontaine Fire Orb. We'll go ahead and give his full name. He is a human male. He's about 5'10". He's got brown, short hair. You know, he's kind of got like darkish, medium brown complexion. I would say that he is well-toned, like someone that you can tell does go to the gym. He also is one of the person that, he's usually one of the hottest people in the room, generally, when he's in there. Not always, but he does not know it. He usually is clueless of the fact that he actually looks that good, but he does turn heads.
Yes, all right.
And he's got that good smolder when he looks. And sometimes you wonder if it's just he just is off in another world. Like when you look, you realize he's not actually looking at you smoldering. He's actually looking past you, probably thinking about something. You can tell it's not a dumb look, but it's just kind of out there.
Very nice. All right, Josh.
So, I guess next to Fontaine, you find Zugarf, the orc. He's a very large, large presence. Probably looks frightening, looks a little mean. He's got a beard, which is pretty rare for orcs. Tends to mean that they're kind of they're a little older, which is also pretty rare for orcs, especially in the Forgotten Realms, or the Remembered Realms, as I believe we are on the Sword Coast.
Yes, this is the only remembered place.
Yes, but while he might have at first glance kind of an angry or violent demeanor to him, a keen eye would notice that he's reading a book, and he's sitting and he's much more quiet and introspective and less of a violent, aggressive person, So once you kind of get past that and that tough look, actually notice and actually look into his eyes, he does have kind eyes, but not everyone makes it that far. So, and he also does have tribal tattoos that are kind of all over him, and does look like I forget what it's called. I'm sure Nooch could tell me. It's the style where they're kind of like they're like scars and cut into you, and they put it's like a Native American or African thing. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's just scarification is usually what they refer to it as.
That's what it is.
Love that. Nicely done. All right, Ricky.
So next to Zugarf, we have Domingo, who, as you can see in a little picture there, it looks like humanoid Doberman Pinscher. He's 5'10". He's wearing a cloak, but he's pretty lean. There's not much fat on him, but there's not much muscle either. He's just, he's lean. He's got a few kind of scars on the right side of his face. I don't know that they're his race is pretty rare in the Forgotten Realms, so I don't know how many of you would have encountered Ardlings. So if you don't really know what they are, it's kind of like an uncanny valley thing where when he moves, he looks dog-like, but his movements aren't quite dog-like or human-like. There's almost like an ethereal grace to them, but you can't really quite describe it or pinpoint it. It's a little bit weird, but yeah, he's kind of keeping to himself, but he's sitting next to Zugarf.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right, Nooch. Go ahead and you say you're really gonna blow us away. I was trying to make a blue comment and just failed at it, so you take it from here.
You done blew yourself?
Yeah, something like that.
All right, so basically towering over everyone else, it sounds like, is this deep blue air genasi. He stands about 6'4", and he's just a absolute like specimen. Like, think of if Henry Cavill and Smurfette had a kid. That's what Hulbrick brings to.
Sure, that's a fanfic somewhere.
Yeah.
It is now.
Yeah, it is now.
Oh my God.
It will. Somebody watching this video is going to be
Someone's furiously scribbling right now, and I appreciate them, and I'm here for you in particular. No, so he's very proud of himself, and you can see that in how he carries himself. His shoulders are rolled back. He stands and command, like in a very commanding kind of presence. And alongside him, you'll always see his trusty companion, who's a bit hopeless at times, but he's doing his best to help him out and teach him what it means in order to kind of walk in Lathander's light and walk in his grace, and how to be the best version of yourself that you can be. And with him always is Ingvald, his pseudo squire.
Yep. And yes, just like you said, next to him, Ingvald is he's a young man. Looks like he's probably in his late teens or early 20s. He has shaggy blonde hair. Actually just sent an image in our group chat. He's got brown eyes, sparse facial hair. He's dressed in sailor's clothing, and he just, when you just like look at someone and like his eyes are kind of like darting around a little bit, like you can tell he's a little bored, like he's trying to, like he just looks like he's got playfulness, mischief, whatever that looks like to you. It's just like oozing out of this guy. And I don't want to speak for Hulbrick, but I imagine that just gets under his skin.
There's a bit of a love-hate relationship going on there, for sure. Where Hulbrick desperately wants Ingvald to realize his full potential, and Ingvald desperately wants to do nothing.
Pretty much, that kind of sums up the relationship. Yeah, they are an odd pair indeed. So, if there's anything you want to do or say to each other now, you can. If not, totally fine. We can move forward.
So, what does the seating arrangement actually look like on this boat?
I think the only thing I know for sure is Gilbert and Ingvald are probably next to each other. But I would imagine there's just like, it's not large, but like there'd be a row up against like port side and a row up against starboard side, and you're probably within 8 feet of each other. You're right there.
Like, there's some space to move around, but we're all basically together in one space.
Yeah, like they probably could have had another maybe 5 passengers if they wanted. Like, it's not cramped, but all within earshot.
So, it appears no one wants to do any talking, so I guess I will fill the void. What brings all of you on this fine voyage, on this beautiful day given to us? Perhaps you, sir, with the hat, you look like you're clearly up to something. Off for what?
So we didn't actually go over this to where I don't know exactly what we're doing at the moment, or like what exactly.
You're on your way to Stormwreck Isle.
Okay, and this is the first time that we've met each other for the most part. I mean, I know
Yes,
some
you just all happen. It's okay. These ferries to Stormwreck Isle don't happen like on a regular schedule, so it's just kind of like people have interest in going there. All right, there's enough of them to justify going. Here you go. That kind of a thing.
Well, I actually got a letter from a friend of mine telling me that I needed to come check some stuff out on the Isle, so that's where I'm headed right now. What are you guys doing coming this way?
Well, you know, I saw a ferry out of town, out of Waterdeep, or out of Neverwinter. Sorry, I've been around. Yeah, I thought I could use a vacation. I've been in town for quite a while and just needed to get some fresh air out on the open sea and see where this thing leads us, you know?
I was in Neverwinter right before coming here as well. I actually used to work on the docks there. I was a carpenter and would help out. Perhaps you've heard of me. It was quite the talk around the docks. A lot of that's inflated, but yeah.
Yeah, what I know about you?
Well, I mean, I guess if the, little scar on my face and the fact that I'm blue doesn't ring any bells, and I suppose you wouldn't. I guess it's possible that people don't know me. That's fine.
Wait a second. Are you the Captain Wolfsburg?
I'm not. I knocked him out, actually.
No way, that was you.
That was me.
You're Heelbrick?
The very one.
I thought he was like 7'2".
As I said, many tales are exaggerated.
I thought you were a dead man by now.
Well, we all have to meet our maker at some point. Luckily for me, that's not today. Or it could be. I don't know. I don't make it.
He's young, you know.
Luckily, the weather's with us. Should be a smooth voyage across.
Fontaine just looks at Domingo when he says that he's young. That sounds threatening.
Ingvald makes eye contact with you. Fontaine is just like, it really did, didn't it?
No, I'm just saying, you know, I've been out on the seas before. I worked some ships, some merchant ships, and things happen, you know. You get attacked by pirates, you get stormed, you get all sorts of creatures.
Ingvald elbows Heelbrick in the side, something that routinely bothered. Ingvald's been like oblivious to this, but he just gives him a good one and just says, "Now with old Hugh next to you, he always takes good care of me. Sure, he'll take good care of all of you."
Yep. Everyone needs looking after.
He's like smiling and just beaming.
You go by Hugh? Oh, okay.
I don't. I don't. I go by.
Wait, what?
We've discussed this once or twice. We've had this conversation.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Gilbert, I have heard the tale many a time, but I would love to hear it from the horse's mouth, so to speak.
Well, Captain Wolfsburg has a reputation, we'll say. on the docks of Neverwinter. He's a strict man, and he's typically a little harsh with his deckhands, we'll say. I've working there on the docks, seeing him frequent the docks, come in on ships carrying goods from, I would hope, are reputable sources, but probably not. Eventually, enough was enough. And after I saw how he was treating poor Ingvald here, someone needed to do something. Someone needed to step up, and someone needed to say, enough. This has gone on too long. And I was in the position to do it, and I did. And he was not him. So he comes at me with his sword after some back and forth. He may have insulted my mother. I may have called him a wolf. That's not. He comes at me, and we're scrapping on the deck of his boat. I'm trying to get out of the way of his sword when he gives me this right across the cheek. Right after taking that, I was able to connect, and I was able to knock him out with a single punch. Dropped into the deck of his very own ship, in front of his own crew, humiliated.
Greatest thing I ever saw.
And then, after defending Ingvald, he came and thanked me profusely, and I told him how I would be able to help him learn to fight his own battles and how to be a better man. That it's not, you shouldn't be starting the fights, but you should always be ready to end. And that's what I did. It's nothing, really. Anyone would have done the same.
Is it true that you danced like a butterfly for 2 minutes as he was trying to stab you?
Stung like a bee, too. But that's enough about me. I don't care to boast. What about yourself? Obviously, if someone is asking you to come and check out some stuff, you must be someone of great renown and intelligence in order to be here.
It was just a friend from school, and he knows that I've been doing a lot of research on magical artifacts, and the letter mentioned that there was something to do with what I was searching for on the Isle, so that's why I kind of was coming to take a look and see what was going on.
Absolutely fascinating. And you, an orc, very unique. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Interesting to single me out when there's a literal dog standing next to us, but
The dog's a bit shifty. His tail's tucked between his legs. He's a little nervous.
I'll wink at Domingo as if, like, I don't mean any offense, but I'm not. I will probably offend someone at some point because I say stupid things. So.
Yeah,
Oh,
fair
that's
enough.
wonderful, because that's like my speciality. Like, I just say stuff and then people just get upset sometimes. I don't know. Like, it just, I don't mean to.
Free world, freedom of speech, but it's not without its consequences, let me tell you.
Is your nose wet like a regular dog?
Prime example right there. It's beautiful.
Yes, it is. So you know,
What's your affinity towards peanut butter?
Domingo, you mentioned a friend told you to come by here. Is that correct, or am I mixing up everyone's stories?
no, I'm just out on little vacation, you know.
Ah, yes, my mistake.
Caught the ferry. Figured I needed a break.
Escape the hustle and bustle of city life.
Yeah, you know, it wears on you for a while if you ain't used to it.
My family moved around all the time. I've never stayed in any place for very long, except for Neverwinter. But change is one of the great equalizers of the world.
Always finds a way to bring you back, though. That city.
This is actually my first time leaving Neverwinter since I came here as a kid. I got sent to the temple to learn about magic and wizardry, and have been here ever since. And like when I graduated, all my friends went off, but I continued studying. What about you, Zugarf? You haven't said what you're doing here.
It's been a long time since I've traveled on a boat, traveled on a ship, and I wanted to see the Stormwreck Isles.
Vague. I like it. Well met, everyone, and hopefully our paths will cross again throughout the Stormwreck Isle.
Here, here.
Right? Say it's right around then that you can see the island coming into view. It's not been a long journey. Actually, I'll send you an overland map of it there in the group chat. And largely, I mean, your journey really, it was uneventful. But like I said, the island is now visible off the bow. And it's just got this, I don't know, I think to each of you in your own way, depending on how you interpret what I'm about to say, there's just a promise of wonder in it. Seaweed shimmers in countless brilliant colors below you, and rays of sunlight defy an overcast sky that clouds kind of seemed to just circle around the island itself. There's lush grass and dark basalt rock of the island there too. And avoiding the rocks jutting up from the ocean, your ship makes its way towards a calm harbor on the island's north side. A large open-air temple comes into view, perched on the edge of a cliff high above you. The ship drops anchor at the mouth of the harbor, and two sailors row you ashore. You have plenty of time to admire the towering statue at the center of the temple, depicting a wizened man surrounded by 7 songbirds. A long path winds up the side of the cliff to the temple, dotted along the way with doorways cut into the rock. The sailors set you ashore on a rickety dock where a large rowboat is neatly tied. They point to the base of the path and wish you good luck before they row back to the ship. And your visit to Dragon's Rest begins.
Huzzah, we made it.
You did it. Adventure over now.
Yeah, it came
Great job, everybody.
You made it. This is the part of the quest where they say, why don't you let them introduce themselves? However, you already did that. So I'm good, because I just thought it'd be more fun on the...
How embarrassing.
How embarrassing. Well, it's artistic choice, Josh. So you start to, there really is only kind of one path to walk up. And I would like to know a marching order.
It's just that awkward moment when we said goodbye on the boat.
It's just
all
thinking about
walking in the same direction.
I was like, oh,
yeah,
hey,
yeah.
hey there, you. Okay.
Sport.
I would probably walk off in front of everybody.
That feels right. Followed closely by your assistant to the heel brick.
I mean, I'm assuming I would have to like kind of nudge him along a little bit and be like, "Involve."
Yeah, he's behind you. He's, because it is pretty much single file. But
You like can he piggyback on you?
he knows, he has at least known not to do that.
Yeah.
If you wanted broken arms.
I would say Fontaine would be right behind wherever Domingo was. But it's because of the way he moves. Like, there's something about that.
Yeah.
Fontaine just can't, just want to learn more about or, try to, figure out. And it's just not clicking in his head. And he just, trying to, is it magical? What?
Domingo's cousin has...
Through the chat.
Through the chat, yes.
Give him the orc kisses.
All right, so then where would Zugarf and Domingo be?
I'd say Zugarf would probably be closely behind Hulbrick.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd be behind Zugarf and then Fontaine behind me.
And I should also mention that I think Hulbrick would notice shortly after Zugarf actually stood up from his place in the on the boat that he is very similar in height. We didn't do a test to see who's taller or shorter, but we're pretty close.
It's right there. I love it. All right, so as you're about to leave the beach and start your climb, you hear a ruckus of splashing and a wet, gurgling moan behind you. And as you turn, you see there are 3 figures sort of shambling up from the water's edge about 30 feet away or so. They are dressed as sailors. Yeah. But their skin is kind of gray, and they look like they've drowned, and seawater kind of is drooling from their slack mouths as they lurch towards you.
Zugarf
What do you do?
Zugarf would look to Hulbrick and say, Hulbrick, you have more experience on the open seas. Is this a typical look for sailors?
It is.
Or should we kill them?
It's typical of dead sailors.
Tourists, am I right?
Aren't we the tourists?
I mean, I would definitely push towards them, and I would probably have my hand on my mace, and I would just be like, "We all right, gents?"
So I can actually show you what it looks like here.
Ooh.
And this is where they're coming up from. And they just...
out of the water.
They're coming up out of the water. Seawater's just kind of coming out anywhere it can. Their mouths, it looks like as they came out of the water, almost like the water's pouring out of them too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Let's see. How many spell slots do I have?
Oh God. Here we go. Maybe we should roll initiative? Is that what we're saying?
It's kind
Oh, you tell me. You've got
coherent.
Well, they're moving towards you. If you're casting a spell, maybe that's the case. I'm just wondering.
Sorry.
I mean, if they're moving towards me, 1 square is 5 feet. 5, 10, 20, 30. I'm gonna try and squeeze my way through the rank and file, and then I will 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. I should be able to get all of them within 30 feet. Did my headset
If you wanted to be, sorry, no, I had it muted. If you want to be 30 feet away, we'll say, yeah, because that's where they started.
Okay. In that case, let's cast Bane.
Okay, let's, on that note, why don't we all roll initiative?
Oh boy. I don't know if this is a good sign or bad sign, but that was a net 20 for initiative of a 24.
Okay.
That is
This is crazy. 24, that's good.
that's a dirty 20 for me.
Dang, okay.
I have 18.
Okay.
Do you want me to roll for Ingval?
No, I'll do that.
Okay.
I have a 12.
12 for Zugar.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it all makes sense. Okay. Love it when the dice work out like that. So yeah, we're gonna start with Fontaine. Fontaine, you notice Fuelbrick looking like he's casting some kind of a spell, and that kind of just gets your juices going.
So, like, because like I see them coming, and I heard what they were talking about and whatnot, like as they were coming, and so like Fontaine just kind of like recognizes that it's something bad, and like as soon as he sees Hulbrick just kind of like push past him a little bit, he kind of reaches down, pulls out his gun.
And for context, none of you have seen anything even remotely close to this.
So you see this thing that he pulls out, and you see that it has some metal on the top of it, and it has some wood carving in the side, and you kind of see like in the part where I'm holding, you see a little bit of like a glow of red going on there. And Hulbert, as you're kind of like going past me, I'm going to attack, and I'll attack the one that's the far left upper one is the one I'm going to try to shoot.
The one I'm highlighting here.
Yes.
Okay.
That is a 18 to hit.
All right, our first attack of the day, and yes, an 18 hits.
Right?
How
That hits
loud
most
is
of it.
this in my ear?
That's what I was about to say. You just passed me, and then you kind of like see this thing like kind of like just go up right here, and then you hear. I mean, it's not as loud as you would like think of like a gunshot, but it's pretty loud, and there's a small flash as well as I fire it.
What comes out of it? Like,
It
is it?
it kind of, it's not very visible, but I would say it's kind of like if you think of just like an arrowhead, but I would say molten, like a molten arrowhead basically, and
Yes.
it shoots out and just
Yes.
so like it's almost too fast to see, but because of the fact that it's molten, that it kind of glows just a little bit, you can see it just kind of like zing into it.
Absolutely.
Love
It
that.
does
Ugh.
3 fire damage. 'Cause
Okay.
I don't get to reroll those.
Missing me and a halfling right there. Watch Ancient Relics and Hoki Religions. So yeah, just and for everybody watching, you just see this glowing molten thing impact into this creature's chest, and it just like you see like cinder and ash kind of just like burn off, and it's just kind of still shambling forward towards you. That was Fontaine's action.
And that's all he's gonna do.
Okay.
This round, he's not gonna like just because he's in between people. He doesn't really feel like. I mean, he could push, but he just feels like that wouldn't be
Yeah.
good to
Okay.
do.
All right. After Fontaine is Domingo.
Okay. Well, Domingo's got a short sword and a dagger drawn right now, and he's not going to try and squeeze his way through right now either. Instead, he's going to kind of peek in between Fontaine and the cliff and try and target that same creature that Fontaine just hit.
Okay.
And he's going to throw a dagger that way.
See what you got.
That is a 16 to hit.
Yeah, 16 hits.
What is that? These dice are so hard to read. That's a 2 plus 4. That's 6 damage.
All right. Yeah, so there's almost like this wet, like, kind of, and the dagger's just like sticking in the the creature's like shoulder, chest kind of area. Yeah, it's just like it's just like still moving forward. It's really weird and creepy.
He's not gonna do anything else. He's gonna draw another dagger in his offhand and snarl at the creature. We'll say, and grab.
All right. And that brings us to our blue air genasi Hulbreck.
So I will kind of, shake the ringing out of my ears a little bit, like this. We have to talk about that wand later. And I will cast Bane on all three of them. So that is a DC 15 Charisma save.
Charisma.
Which I'm assuming they're bad.
You said DC 15 because one got a 15 exactly.
Yeah, 15, 1-5.
So then, yeah, two of them failed. Say this one here. I'll put a little halo around it.
For the one that saved?
Actually, you know what? Let's do yellow, Bane, and the one in the back failed.
Love it. All right, and then
There's action.
and then I'll just say, this cliff edge is no place to fight. We should back up to a more suitable area. And then I'm just gonna kind of like raise my shield and take the mace out and just be kind of like bracing, because I'm not gonna back up behind these guys, but
Gotcha.
I'm definitely gonna stand between them and hope that they back up.
So far, what I know about all four of your characters, if I could shower each of you at inspiration right now, I would. I guess I'm the DM, I can do whatever I want, but we'll see. Yeah, okay, so after Hulbreck goes, these creatures start to just lumber forward. Let's make sure I know the speed. Yep, okay. You got a little 1, 2, 3, and you just see like just this weird, it's strange, like you see it coming, but there's some kind of like just intention behind the way this thing tries to like just punch and hit you, and it's gonna try and attack you with a minus D4 because it's got Bane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's not gonna do it. That's an 11 to hit.
Nope.
Hey, 1, 2, 3, and it's just kind of trying to get through, but it can't. 1, 2, 3. Also in that same situation.
Plus.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, you could push it. Just saying. So that's going to be it for them. And then we've got our orcish friend Zugarf. It's an awkward spot for melee characters to be.
Yeah, can I even get past them?
Everybody's kind of right up against each other at
Yeah.
this point.
So that's a no. I probably couldn't squeeze past them.
No, without causing some potential.
Yeah.
I think.
All right.
Just because there's no spot to land like when you go. Otherwise, you normally could move through friendly spaces.
So how about if you could be so kind, pop me up to that like half piece that's right above me.
Up here?
Yeah. You see, like, anyone paying attention sees like it's almost, I want to say it's like a look of calm over Zugarf, but it's almost like if you're really paying close attention, you might notice that something has changed, but it almost looks like he's just not fazed at all, that like he's still the same exact expression that he had beforehand as he he puts his two hands on his claymore, which is probably just as tall as Fontaine, and he holds it out in front of him, readies an action to. Well, wait a sec. No, it's not. I mean, there's no way I could get to where I need to be. So it's just, yeah. He just readies an action to hit any one of these creatures as soon as they get within his reach, and he says, "Get behind me."
I feel like there's a very big and intense feeling behind, even as it's quiet. Ingvald is gonna go, and if anybody's, I feel like most people are focused on these creatures, but if the camera was looking at Ingvald, you would just see his eyes. They're like, oh, and he just like backs up. He just, yeah, he's done.
No.
That's gonna, yep. And then we bring us right back up to the top and go back to Fontaine.
Would Fontaine be able to move back, like?
Yes, you can move through friendly squares.
Okay.
The only reason why Josh couldn't move Zugar forward is just it was.
So I would say,
Yep.
if you'll allow it, I'll move to the half-ish square behind Zugar.
Okay. 2, 3, 4. Is that what you're thinking?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna take a shot at the same one that I shot previously.
All right. Do it.
But I am, like, as I'm passing Zugar, I'm gonna be like, close your ears.
Yes.
Zugarf does not.
That is a 15 to hit.
All checks out, and yes, of course that hits.
And that one is the exact opposite. That is 12 fire damage.
Ooh. Okay. This is awesome.
Oh man, Josh wants to know so much about this firearm.
This is so great. This is so great. Okay.
Discussions after this.
So, Hulbrecht, you feel like this whoosh right past your head as another one of these things connects with this creature square between the eyes, like boom, and you just see him go, and for a moment you are just like sure it's going to go down, like this thing is done, right? And it just kind of like there's like a hole. Actually, it burns a hole through the head, and it's straight through, and you can still see through it when it's like still moving forward to come get you. And Fontaine, you are just like, what? Like you hit it right in the head.
You did? And that ends my turn.
Okay.
He says that though.
Yeah. So then we're back to Domingo.
Domingo is going to take the hint and he's going to get out of there. He's going to move. He's going to move parallel, I guess, to Zugarth, 2 squares away.
Look here.
Right there, yeah.
That's 3 squares.
Yep. And he's going to stay there, and he's going to throw another dagger, I think, at the one adjacent to Hulbrecht.
Okay.
Would sneak attack proc in this case, I guess, if he's flanking? I think so, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you just have to. He just has to be an enemy target or an allied target. I forget. Either way, it counts.
Right.
Within 5 feet.
Yeah, I think an enemy of the enemy or whatever is the wording.
I would be your
enemy of the creature. Exactly. Sorry, it's been a while.
I hear you.
So that's gonna be it's a 7 on the roll plus 6 to hit. Wow, I've got 4 decks, so 13 to hit.
13 hits.
Wow. Okay. Take those.
Yep.
And that's 3 plus 4, 7 plus 4 for another sneak attack damage, so 11 damage.
11 damage, all right. So, yeah, at this point, you see, actually really, really clutch this moment in time, anyone paying attention to tactics. You see this dagger just like fly out, and there's just something about the force of it this time kind of knocks him into the side of the cliff, and he just almost like bounces off the cliff and it just falls over into the water. And you just see this big splash. Down it goes.
They really had to clean out the Sword Coast, you know? These guys are everywhere.
Yes.
My turn.
All right. That brings us then to Hilbrecht.
All right. So
Who now can move unobstructed thanks to that.
I mean, I was gonna take a swing and deal with the let him try and hit me with Bane on him, but all right, I'll back up so that I'll be standing basically like in front of Domingo and alongside
Here?
One down.
Okay.
Perfect.
That took 4 squares if you are interested.
Formation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine. I'll be like, Ingvald, follow your training. Do what I've taught you. And just like have my mace out, my shield up, just be like ready, like let him just step to it.
Mm-hmm. So are you ready in action? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'll ready a melee strike when
Okay.
when they are within range.
Okay. And that means that Hilbrecht is done. So then these creatures just shuffle forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then they use their action to dash, and then we'll say, Zugarth, go ahead and you have it is your option, sir.
Okay. I use my ready to action. I go attempt to hit it with my claymore.
I love that you're calling it a claymore so much. I love that. Like,
That
I
is-
just love it.
It's a 22 to hit. Thank you.
Yeah, that'll do.
Is that all?
That'll
And
do, Pig.
that's gonna be 13 points of slashing damage.
Ooh.
Damn. That's hot.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So this thing is like you could see its attention seems fixated on Hulbrecht, and as soon as it comes into range, it's like batter up. Like you just like bury your claymore, like right into its side and rib cage, kind of up in its gut, and you just like pull it out, and you just see some of its guts actually fall out of its belly. It's just gross. It smells disgusting, and for some reason it's still there. But you definitely put a nice hurting on it. And then
Can I say something too?
sure.
I yell back to Ingvald and say, Ingvald, you cannot escape death, but you can at least escape the fear of it. And
Ooh.
if I may, I nod to Nooch as well.
All right. So Hulbrecht, you have your ready to action. You want to take it?
Here we go. Swing it. Oh shit. 18 plus a lot. Plus 6.
Uh-huh. Yep. Definitely. You're not very agile.
That is a crushing 5 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay. So yeah, at nearly the same time, actually, as this claymore embeds itself into the belly of this beast, Hulbrecht, you smash the thing like square on the face, like, and it seemed to kind of stagger back, and its foot did somehow keep it from falling over, but I mean, you heard a crunch, you just splatter, you're not sure if you're seeing blood or water or what, but fluid comes out of its head, Disgusting.
Perfect.
Yeah. All right, so that would be that creature's turn. 1, 2, 3, 4 uses its action to dash and gets to there, and that brings us to Zugarf.
Okay, so creature in front of me is still up. I will use my...
remember you.
Sorry.
Do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
Nice. I will use my, I'll just attack. I mean, he's right in front of me.
Sure is.
My claymore is still right there, so we're just gonna try again for round 2.
Pokey pokey.
Significantly worse. That's gonna be an 11 to hit.
An 11 still hits.
Hey, how we doing? Yeah. And that's gonna be 14 points of damage this time, slashing.
How would... I already rolled. How would Zugarf like to do this?
So, I feel like my claymore might have been like down, and I actually lift it like up in like in a swinging motion and kind of just cut it in half, like finish the cut that was started at the gut, you know, and just sideways across the body, and I imagine it kind of flops into the water, and
You hear
almost like
squishing. Oh yeah.
almost like when like sloppier than this, but when like spoiler alert for Phantom Menace, when Obi-Wan
Wait, I haven't seen it yet.
when Obi-Wan cuts Darth Maul in half, and he just kind of flops down, and you know, and just, yeah. Except you hear and see the splash, I think.
Yeah. Full cannonball at the end.
Not using a cauterizing blade.
Yes, exactly.
Like heading for a wet garbage bag or something.
Yeah, it's just gross. Yeah. Yeah, Heelbreak and Zugarf right now, like, it's just in full Dragon Age guts and gore now. That's just, it's just right there.
Love
All right,
it.
so that's Zugarf's action.
I'll hold my position. The power gamer in me wants to just loop around him, so the Nooch gets advantage, but I will hold the line.
Hold.
That's always the hard part of being like, no, but I know exactly where I should stay.
Exactly.
Yep. Oh yeah. Okay, and now I get to interpret. I'm assuming, has Zugarf done? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, Zugarf's turn.
And now I get to try and interpret what the training is, and I love that I have no idea what it is, and I feel like I can very realistically play Ingvald in this situation.
This whole like field position right now.
He's got you. I mean, you notice he has a dagger. Actually, this is okay. He goes up, okay, and he takes 2 steps forward, up against the wall, kind of like Fontaine, but he's like really like kind of. He takes the dagger out. His arm is up against the wall. He's really not getting quite the space you need to wind up, and he's gonna throw his dagger at this thing. He's going for it. He's going for it, people.
He's gonna roll a d4 to see who he hits.
He's gonna stab one else in the flash.
I mean, if you have no idea what these creatures are by now, they're zombies, and he actually did roll a 5 to hit, which actually misses a zombie. So you just see, if anyone's paying attention, you just see a dagger fly up, over, and just like way wide left. Like it's just like, and it just clings off the rock. And Heelbreak doesn't have to turn and look to know exactly what happened. And that brings us back to the top of the order with Fontaine.
Fontaine goes, I thought my weapon was dangerous, and takes aim and takes a shot at the zombie. All right. But as you notice, as he's taking aim, there is a little, if anyone is looking at his weapon, they do notice a little movement of like a chamber that's kind of moving in the middle of it. as right before he fires. And that is a 9 to hit.
A 9 hits.
Oh wow!
And not just barely. I mean, it's close.
Bit of an AC of 6.
A little bit, not much.
And that is 5 fire damage.
Okay.
They'd be very slow.
Yes. Okay, yeah, you just see another one of these, we'll just call it some kind of fire slug of some kind, impede into this thing's, like right in the solar plexus. You just see again cinder just kind of spread as it hits the body and just burn marks and stuff like that. Gross. Yeah, so that was your action. If you want to move or use a bonus of some kind.
No, I'm good.
All right. Which brings us to our canine friend Domingo.
Well, he's gonna draw his third and final dagger, and he's gonna check it at the remaining zombie thing.
Do it.
It's 14 to hit.
Yeah. The 9 hits.
Yeah. Yeah. So 5 damage.
5 damage. Oh, that's right. Nobody is next to it.
Yeah. No snack.
So yeah, this one just kind of embeds right in its left thigh, just as it's walking. It seems to be moving still. Weird. So that was your action. If you want to move or do anything else, you have your options.
I'll move back. I'm gonna go right next to Ingvald's.
Like that, just one square.
No, to his side, I guess. Where the
Here?
opening. Yeah, exactly. Right there.
Okay. As you're running to it, it looks like just some kind of sleeping quarters. Nobody's there. That the door is open. There's no actual door.
Gotcha.
A quick little glance is like just something very modest.
Okay. That good to know. That's my turn.
Okay. And that brings us to Hulbrecht. Do it. Do it.
Well, I mean, the thing would be, would I be able to get behind him?
I think because of how slow this thing is, timing its movements to get around it is fine. If it was like a regular, like if say, for example, Zugarf was there with intelligence and speed and agility in his movements, I would say probably not. But I would say here, let's do it.
Okay. Yeah, so then I'll, I know that Zugarf can handle himself. He's made that very evident. So I'll just kind of like give him like a little like nod kind of thing, and I'll work my way behind.
Right here?
Yep.
Okay.
And then
It's a nice graceful move too. Like if there's he hops over like a spot that it shouldn't. He'd be like, oh, a little risk, but he just does it seamlessly.
and then I am going to I'll bop them. Look at
Bop it.
little sock and boppers.
Push it. Pull it.
Exactly.
That's 13 to hit, which
Oh yeah.
and that'll deal 7 bludgeoning damage.
Okay. Yeah. You slip right past, and your mace just embeds in its rib cage. You hear ribs crunching, you breaking them. And there's also a slushing and sloshing sound. Just
Little sucking sound removing it.
yeah, it's really disgusting.
That was satisfying.
Yeah. Hey, depending on how you look at it, right? That's a good point.
So now it goes attention, shields up, maces up, ready to rock and roll. And that will be my turn.
All right. Yeah, you pull the mace back, and it kind of turns and spins with you. You actually, as you pull the mace out, you actually spin the thing, and it just goes and swings at you. Its fist. Oh, that one actually might hit. Hold on. I think it's gonna. That's a 19 to hit.
That'll hit. Because that guy didn't get banged.
He didn't, no. It's 5 bludgeoning damage with his slam. What up? What up? So yeah, it's fun. Like, so your mace hits into this thing and you pull it back, and just almost from pure happenstance, its left arm just kind of comes around and just clocks you across the face, and you're like, whoa! Like it moved faster than you've seen it move because of what happened.
Sure.
Yeah. And that's gonna be its turn. And now Zugarf, you're here.
Zugarf lunges forward, goes to that space. Is the creature flanked?
Rules as written, no, but yes.
Okay. So I will.
Like as best as you can be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it works.
I will make another attack.
Combat also doesn't happen in neat boxes like in a game, so.
One of them was a 1, and the other one fell off the table. So let's see. All right. Natural 14, which I think makes it a 19.
You're good.
Yeah. Okay. And that is 9 points of slashing damage.
Okay. You actually cut the thing in half. Like, this thing turns around, clocks him in the face, and you just swing right through. Your sword embeds into the rock. It's the bottom part of it falls to the ground, but the top part, just like in Call of Duty Zombies, seems to still be moving. He's gonna come after you. You're just like, there has to be this moment of like, what the heck? Like,
And
what do you want to do?
I don't think there's any type of bonus action that I could use to try to just slide it off the cliff. But that is what I would like to do.
Bonus action nudge, please.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what? I'm feeling generous today. Why not? Yeah, make an attack roll, an unarmed strength attack roll.
Right. It's a natural. Oh, that's. I actually have a modifier for that. Okay, so that's 16.
Yep, you hit it, and you're just trying to push it off the side.
I just give it a little slide to the left, you know, the old cha-cha slide to the left.
I gotcha.
To the wall.
So
To my left.
So yeah, how do you want this to happen? This thing, you chopped it in half, and it starts to like still crawl to come after Hulebrecht.
I feel like
there's to be a moment of like,
sword in the wall, which Zugarf would be very frustrated about. Sword in the wall, just takes his foot, kind of steps like towards its shoulder, and then just gives it a quick little like, you know,
yeah,
right off.
And I don't know exactly how they actually show how high this is. Let me take a quick look, because this is definitely going to deal damage. Yeah, so it's a good 15 to 20 feet, and there's rocks in the water, so you notice it hits the ground, it hits the rocks on the way to the ground. You see no movement in the water, and so there's a moment where everybody's kind of like, what's happening? And I think that's where we will take a little bathroom break, and if you're watching this, it'll probably be much faster, or maybe we put our own special ad here. I don't know. Either way, see you in a minute. Josh, describing a scene as a dungeon master or game master, I mean, this goes bigger than just D&D. This is a whole TTRPG topic. This is one of the most like, yeah, one of these most like fundamental skills that really just keeps everybody excited to play the game. So what's your approach when you do this, Josh? Because I feel like you're very good at this.
I think, I mean, thank you. I think if you want to learn how to get better at this, right, think about where you are in an environment and what sticks out at you, and just think about how you would describe where you are right now. You know, you see a desk, it's cluttered. There's notebooks and pens and a candle and some candy wrappers on the table, you know, like that kind of thing, right? Like that's what my desk looks like right now. It's messy, but you know, right? That was quick. That was easy. I didn't get bogged down in any details or anything, but you probably got the vibe. Like it's a little chaotic. It's disorganized, you know, like that. It's not always like that, but it just is right now. This happens sometimes.
It's probably like that more often than Josh wants to admit. You want to place hooks and things that could be interesting, but you don't have to really go too in depth. You want to invite player questions because it's kind of like really anything else. You don't want to put in too much work into something that isn't going to be used. We put together an example of something that would maybe happen. Like if a character goes into like a center of a town, right? You might say, in the center of the courtyard, there is a fountain with a statue of a woman pouring water from a jug into the pool. There's enough information there to set a tone, but if people are like, yeah, whatever, it's a fountain, that's fine. They could walk past it. Or they could be like, well, let's talk about that a little bit more because maybe this woman represents a historical figure or is a representation of a deity, whatever it is. So that's when you start to get questions. You know, you don't have to be like, it's approximately 26 feet 8 inches tall. You could describe height if you want, but you can also wait for them to ask how big it is.
Sizing and spacing and that kind of stuff. Not that it's never important, but it's most important if you're trying to do like a theater of their mind type thing or battle and stuff, where players are using that in their plans for combat. Otherwise, it's just flavor. So don't let it bog you down.
Instead of trying to say it's 26 feet tall, you'd be like, it's large.
It's tall. Big.
Yeah, exactly.
How big is it? I don't know. It's big. You know?
You had to guess? Sure. It's 25, 30 feet, maybe. You're not sure. Like, you're good.
Don't forget to smash that like button.
Your arrival quickly draws the attention of the entire population of the place, which consists mostly of kobolds. These small reptilian folk eye you curiously with a couple of humans that watch from a distance. And all of the cloister's residents are dressed in simple clothes. No one carries a visible weapon whatsoever. One of the kobolds pipes up with a, "What's your name?" And then at that, all of the other kobolds start just barraging you with questions. Where are you from? What's that? Why are you here? And like most of the people that are saying like, "What's that?" they're like pointing at Fontaine. Because nobody's ever seen that before. But like, there's just like a lot. Like it's so much where like you kind of, I mean, if you want to answer one of those questions or try, sure, have fun. But you're just being barraged with questions here. What do you guys do with that?
See Fontaine just like,
Oh, what is that thing? What is that?
slide the pistol into a holster on his side. Like, I don't know if you guys would have noticed it or paid attention to what it was, just because of like, the shape wouldn't have been that crazy, like, but was on his belt and kind of like hidden to a certain extent. But now that you see him sliding it back in there, like, it's like, huh.
It's a little more noticeable now.
Yeah.
So does Domingo ask, like, what is it? Yeah.
What is that boomstick you got there? That contraption.
Well, I don't tell anyone this, but I call it a pistol. It's kind of like a, man, I created it, and it's kind of like you had like a cross.
What, 2 S's?
No, just
Just like a tall piss.
Oh,
you know what?
I clarified.
Maybe the name needs work. Okay.
How about this?
I'm just trying to understand, the nomenclature behind things.
Can you make a quieter version on it?
I've never tried. I don't. Should it be quieter?
Fontaine starts jotting down images of a suppressing. It's like, how can I do the baffles?
Oh shoot! I haven't really thought about that. And you see him just like, even though everything else is going on, you see him just like, he's kind of like zoned out now, thinking about that. So If you want to talk,
Yeah.
we're gonna need to ask another question to interrupt his thought process.
You gotta bring him back to the land.
You see him kind of like, even though he doesn't have anything in his hand, you see him kind of like making some notes on his hand.
So he's just jotting down little. Okay, yeah, I love it.
Yeah, it's more mental because he doesn't have a pen or anything like to write on currently. But it's just kind of like, just like trying to think out, like maybe even like in his head tracing something and try to see like if he could change something.
Almost like he's like closing his eyes, like, what
yeah.
is this? Like using his mind's eye. Yeah, okay. Does anyone want to try and engage with a barrage of questions, or is it just kind of like how I'll say this? How does Zugar feel, and what is he doing right now in this situation?
Zugarf is looking at the part of the sword that slammed into the stone after he gets it out, and is just kind of assessing the damage and how much work he's gonna have to put into sharpening it to,
Okay.
make the edge razor sharp again.
Sure.
What kind of questions are being asked aside from the only one that stuck when you said that? I just poured like half a glass of water onto my second monitor, so
So it's,
that's
it's really good that I asked Zugarf right now.
it's
I thought you were having fun with Indy. No, just saying like, where are you from? What is that? Why are you here? Like, just like.
Yeah, so
Things like
Zugarf is more thinking about what had just happened and what those things are and where they're from, and he just looks at whichever is the closest or whichever is the loudest of the kobolds and says, "What were those creatures, and is that such a common occurrence that we are more strange than monster sailors coming up from the depths of the sea to fight us?"
Yeah, Shieldrick will be kind of echoing Zugar's sentiment and be like there with him.
Okay. One kobold kind of steps forward a little bit. Looks like she's got some tools and things. Fontaine, you would very much recognize like this person does like she's a workman of some kind, like in your lane a little bit.
Is she hot?
She's the hottest kobold you ever saw, man. But she steps forward and just says, "Pretty sure those were zombies. But they're gone and you're here, so that's why we're asking you who you are. Thank you for helping us."
I figured if anyone here would have a problem with object permanence, it might be Domingo, but
So at this point, Domingo is actively avoiding the questions, and he's off fetching his daggers, retrieving his daggers. And if
nice
you're
choice of words.
actually, if you're really paying attention to what he's doing, you see he starts digging, and he's starting to bury some of the dead creatures that we had killed.
Hey.
Just burying them?
Just chewing on the bones.
Or
He's burying
the hole right now.
He's
But
in a hole right now, but yeah, next to one of the corpses anyway that remained on the cliffside, we'll say.
Okay.
Just burying a set of legs.
That would be the first one you come across.
That's true.
How many did you throw? You threw 3 of them?
I threw 3 of them.
I think one of them fell into the water, so you could get 2 of them back. If you want to go find the other one, you could handle that. But at the moment, I think
Let's just dive in.
at the moment, I think you're able to find
I'm
2
good.
fairly
Yeah.
quickly.
Yeah, that's fair.
And at that point, you notice an older kobold kind of comes from the back, and Zugar, roll me a perception check.
It's a natural 7. Yeah.
Okay.
Perception?
Yes.
Is it? That is it.
Okay. That's fine. So the
Sorry.
no, you're good. Doesn't matter. So this older kobold comes forward, and the chattering kobolds fall silent as this new figure comes into view, descending gracefully from the upper part of the cloister. Oh, I'm sorry, elderly human woman, not a kobold. Pardon me. And she's got weathered brown skin, white hair in tight braids, and very kindly hazel eyes, dressed in a simple white robe. And she smiles as she draws near and extends her arms in greeting. "Welcome to Dragon's Rest," she says. "May Bahamut's guidance lead you to whatever you seek." And like all of the kobolds and the other two humans, they all kind of just turn and like she kind of owns the room, even though you're outside. Kind of a thing.
You got a presence.
Mm-hmm.
It was called Dragon's Rest.
That's where you are. Yes, welcome to Dragon's Rest, she said.
I think you were muted there.
I was muted there. Hilberg's gonna drop to a knee and like bow, and be like, "Elder Runara, it is an honor to be in your presence. I've come here seeking guidance from you."
Oh, okay. She kind of just like, did you like approach her when you did that? Like, are you within?
Well, I would have been standing next to, Zugarsh.
Okay.
So
We'll say, yeah. We'll say she walks over to you. Slowly, because she's kind of elderly.
Sure.
She's there. Go ahead.
Just quickly, does it seem like that would be the appropriate thing to do to like kneel, or is it clear that like Hilberg is kind of going above and beyond?
I would say, let's have you roll. What kind of a check do you think that would be? I'm gonna pull a Josh right now.
What kind of a check do I think that would be? It is some form of perception, but there's also
Maybe insight, maybe religion.
a degree of insight.
I'd be leaning towards insight personally.
Sure. Yeah, I'll do.
I think it could be a number of things, like you said.
Performance check.
Either way, I have a +3 that in perception, so we'll
Sure.
we will call it a check. Oh,
And
Roll a +3 check, Josh.
well, it's 12 this time.
make a spell check to fit into a social situation.
Yeah,
would say,
using your wisdom modifier.
yeah. I would say you don't feel pressured to do the same, but I don't think you would feel like it would be insulting if you followed suit either. Like you truly feel like the choice would be yours.
Okay, I would say Zugarf wouldn't say anything, but he would he would kind of follow suit with Hilbrick and drop to a knee and just to show respect.
Okay. Domingo's in the back. He's doing his thing.
You're like digging noises while
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
quiet like moment.
And I would say once the sound, like the white noise of chatter died down. So would that have shaken Fontaine from his thoughts? How does Fontaine react to that?
Fontaine just is just watching, like he's
Yeah.
he doesn't bow, he doesn't say anything to her at the moment. Just kind of like watching it unfold.
Sure. Yeah. So Elder Runara walks over to Gilbreck and next to him Zugarf. Did you both bow your heads too? Yeah, okay. So if you guys are next to each other, she just puts an arm on your inside shoulders, one hand on each shoulder. And at that, we'll just say you both kind of just look up, and she just looks so kind. Like there's such a... And she just says, "You don't have to do that." You just saved us. Thank you.
It's
To which Fontaine responds, "You're welcome."
it was always
It's very appreciated. You're a strapping one, aren't you? And she just looks, and then she looks at Yulbrek, and then she just looks over at Zugarf and said, "You're both quite strapping."
Ouch.
Well,
You can handle that however you want, but you don't get immediately. She's not hitting on you guys.
Hey, you know what happens in Dragon's Rest? So,
He's in Dragon's Rest, that's right.
We're not all resting.
Zugarf is dislocated. I'm just kidding.
Yes, deep cut, and I love it. Ask about that in the comment section. You get 5 points.
Oh man.
Now she said, we will feed you and give you a place to stay today. As long as you're here on Stormwreck Isle, you have a safe place here at Dragon's Rest. Come. And she turns and she said, "Come on, we have guests." And like all the other kobolds start to like skitter and scatter and go away. And it's at this point that Zugarth notices a muscular human whose black hair is cropped close to her scalp. Her light brown skin bears many scars, one of which runs across her left eye, which is milky and blind. An elegant prosthetic made from wood and metal replaces her right leg below the knee. And if anyone is watching, this woman is just looking at Zugarf, pretty blank-faced. And Zugarf, your eyes meet hers.
How far away is she?
We'll say 30 feet. Like her and the other human, it looks like a middle-aged man, maybe a little older. But him and the other kobolds look like they turned to follow Runara.
Okay.
But she's just standing there staring at you.
Okay. Zugarf would walk. He would get up from where he was and just walk up to her, and he would say, Varnos, it's good to see you. I didn't expect to see you in a place like this.
There is an uncomfortable pause. And finally, or does Zugarf fill the silence? What does Zugarf do? I'll give you the chance.
Part of me wants to say, how's the leg?
Stumpy.
Oh my gosh.
How are you?
Been some time, Zugarf.
Indeed it has.
I've been all right. How about you?
I've been well, quiet.
We sent scouts to find you. They were unsuccessful.
Well, I'm here now. Is there still unfinished business?
Her eyes squint a little bit as she seems to literally eye you. the eyes.
Well,
That depends. Why are you here?
Well, I'm not here to cause trouble. I saw this place in a vision, and that's why I left my solitude.
When you say you're not here to cause trouble, her head kind of cocked off to the side as if, just like, that's interesting, kind of a little thing. And then that when you say you saw this place in a vision, her shoulders kind of drop. They're much more, her posture just relaxes a bit. But perhaps you will find what you're looking. Elder Runara is very wise. You must be hungry.
I am. Thank you. Are we like? I don't really understand the.
This is weird and out of like this is about as unexpected as to you as it is for Cigarf, I think. Yeah.
Are we, the rest of us, just like right there as well, hearing
You
this
want to
exchange?
participate? You can. Yeah.
Like 10 feet behind him.
There certainly is like, we'll call them pregnant pauses all over the place in this conversation.
Some palpable tension.
Yes. Maybe even enough for Domingo to notice while he's digging.
well, we'll say the legs are buried by now, and he's back towards where the party is, and he's kind of cleaning off his daggers.
Yep.
Yeah. Kind of paying attention, kind of doing his own thing.
I won't even respond to the like, you must be hungry. I'm just gonna say, you never answered why you were here.
No, I didn't.
Indeed.
Now, with that pregnant pause, Fontaine chimes in.
Yes?
So how did you lose your eye? Did you lose your leg at the same time, or were you just accident prone?
Even though it's milky and blind, it still turns to look at you, head turns slightly, then looks back at Zugarf. Then she just turns to walk away.
Oh, Zugarf will look at Fontaine and just say, Fontaine, you really know how to charm a woman.
Actually, I know Zugarf knows who this is, but everybody else can roll a history check.
+4.
Actually good at history, but I rolled that one. So that's a 6.
All six for you.
13 for me.
6, 13.
12.
Okay, you all failed. I love that. This is gonna be way more fun. Way more fun for this. So yeah, none of you have any idea who this person is. So now you have a moment amongst yourselves. If you want to follow, you can. If you want to talk, you can.
I know Shilbrick wouldn't have necessarily been super concerned with that, and definitely would have been more concerned with following Elder. So I don't know how much of that whole conversation I necessarily would have caught or paid attention.
You can decide. I mean, at that point, everybody except for this woman turned to follow, and you can still see them in the distance. Like, I mean, there's really only one place to go, so it's not like if you wanted to wait, like,
Sure.
yeah.
Like, I would probably, like, continue down the path a little bit, like, chat with Ingvald a bit, be like, fuck, that was a good attempt. You gotta work on the form. You want to figure it's going. You want to point at it afterwards.
I should say he very proudly comes back with the dagger. He found it seemed to just land in the beach.
Yeah, I mean, it would definitely be one of those things where I'd be like talking to him a little bit, kind of keeping an eye on the rest of them, because there's definitely an appreciation towards Zugorf, a curiosity around Fontaine, and a degree of apprehension towards the Mango. But then is also like, but I need to go and talk to her.
Yeah, there's a lot of
like,
fun things going on right now for you.
Yeah, so he's like, kind of like literally just standing in between all of it with Ingvald, like, yeah, I saw you threw it. Oh, and also be like kind of watching what was going on there, and would feel that it's like fairly noticeable from the body language that it's a bit of an uncomfortable conversation. And then would also be like, all right, but I'm like that moment where you're like with your like group of friends and you're like kind of like up and everyone else is still sitting around. You're like, are we going? Or like we're going? Like slowly making my way towards the door. That would be.
Yeah, so we'll say Varnoth walks past you at Ingvald. And now Fontaine, Zugarf, and Domingo are just kind of looking at you guys or whatever you're doing. You have a chance to talk if you want or do something.
Or shall we? Or
Let's show.
we?
Yeah, I mean, I heard mention of some food earlier. I feel like we need to, after a battle, I get ravenous. I need to refuel. I don't know if you guys are the same way, but
I think the least they could do is throw you a bone after that.
Womp womp. Love it.
Even Fontaine's eyes go a little wide at that.
I'm sorry. That's not even my character. It's just me. I can't help it.
I'm gonna send you a map of it. So there's really, you can go wherever you'd like. So I'm assuming you're moving to follow the crowd, kind of.
We'll follow the herd.
Okay. So a long path leads from the rocky shore up the side of the cliff, with occasional stairs to ease the ascent. Here and there along the lower part of the path, well-tended garden plots hold flowers, herbs, and vegetables. About 30 feet above the bay, the path widens into a long plaza. Halfway along the plaza, a stone statue of a dragon gazes serenely down the path. 6 open doorways are cut into the cliffside. And Domingo, you had seen one of those that you were talking about, that I was talking about before. So the star in the circle on that map there, that is the dragon statue. Everyone wants to roll an Arcana check. Actually, I could tell you what it is, or not.
The dragon statue or that like old guy with the 7 songbirds around him?
It's different. So,
Okay.
It's a dirty 20 for Fontaine.
It is a well.
a 9.
What flavor of check?
Arcana,
Okay.
intelligence.
16.
Okay, so everybody but Domingo recognizes that it depicts a bronze dragon, which is a member of the metallic family. And
What the hell is that thing?
you just think it's a dragon of some kind. Yeah, I mean, it's not.
the statue?
Depiction of a bronze dragon.
They're actually a part of the metallic bronze dragon family.
They're the good ones or the not so good ones?
They're the good ones. Is this a specific bronze dragon that we would know, or it's just like a generic bronze dragon because this whole place is like for Bahamut?
Yeah, you're looking for like an identifying mark, even like a label or some kind of anything, but you can't place who this must be if it is someone specific or not.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about that wizened old man statue with the 7 birds?
Everybody can roll well, actually, no, you would know this off the top of your head.
Oh, I would?
No.
Okay.
You would, because you're as a cleric. But everybody else could roll a religion check if you're interested.
There's 10 for
16.
It's a 6 for me, dog.
All right, so everybody but Zugarf knows that is Bahamut. So,
What the hell is that?
but that one's far up, much farther up in A5 where that star is.
Gotcha.
Okay. And that's just obviously the
That looks like a place.
humanoid. That'd be the humanoid form of Bahamut.
Mm-hmm.
Are there 7 metallic dragons? I mean, me personally is interested about the...
Negative Ghost Rider.
And what's the significance of 7 songbirds?
You watched a Dragon of Ice Spire Peak playthrough, you might know.
I did not, because I'm a bad follower.
It's all good.
Domingo hasn't seen it.
I just broke the 4th wall. Yeah, but you are able to move forward if you want. When you get to A2, you see, which is a little building off to the right. You see a small freestanding building halfway up the path. Has a peaked roof and a weathered wooden door. A sturdy wooden pallet wrapped with rope hangs beneath the building on an iron chain, lying flat against the cliff face. This is basically a way, you're just looking at it, you can see this is how you can get deliveries from down there. Get hauled up. As you continue to go around the path, and stop me if there's a question you have. Section A3 looks like a kitchen. This is a doorway in the rock, opens into a dining room with a long table. 2 benches run the length of the table, and a single chair sits at the table's head. A short hallway connects to a small, tidy kitchen straight ahead. And at this point, it does look like the residents looks like they're milling about, trying to prepare for dinner. But you don't see Runara.
So we're like approaching dusk at this point?
Yeah, we'll say it's getting close to dinner time.
Okay. I would probably offer to help with dinner.
Yeah, okay. It is a little bit cramped. If you look on the map there's not a lot, and there actually are... You haven't counted as many kobolds, but you think it could be upwards of a dozen. You see Varnath, and he is also helping. And the other man that's there, who's middle-aged, a little bit older than Varnath. He's also, looks like he's working And they seem to be moving in rhythm, though, and I think every time you go to do something, you see a kobold kind of scurry up and looks like they're doing that, and like it's a little like what is going on here?
Sure. So I would offer,
Sure.
regardless.
Yeah, and one of them's like, "Oh, you can set a table," and he like kind of points to the like a little cupboard in the corner where you imagine there might be silverware or something.
Yeah, I'll set the table. Why not?
Sure. Anyone else? I think you're muted, good sir.
Sorry. The man who Varnoth was with, do I recognize him at all?
You can roll a history check.
Natural 18. That's probably all it is. Yeah, it's just 18.
Okay. You don't recognize this person, but you do notice a gold hangman's noose that is worked into the design of a visible tattoo. You see visible tattoos, or I think it's on his neck. Yeah, peeked from the side of his neck beneath his dirt-stained robes. So it looks like a gold hangman's noose that's there. And you recognize that mark as a symbol associated with the Gilded Gallows, which is a thieves' guild that operates in a country far to the southeast called Ultragard.
Can you spell that country for me, if you don't mind?
Yep. Elturgard. And Domingo, you also know. Anybody that sees that, if either of you say you want to take note of this guy, let me know, and then you can roll to see if you see it, or if you know what that is.
I'm sorry, what did he look like again? What was his race?
As a human, looks like late middle age, got pale skin, tanned darker but with many freckles, auburn hair, and a beard that is mostly gray, and piercing gray blue eyes. Just like my cousin there in the middle on the top of the screen. Yeah, and then he's got that tattoo that's in an abstract design, kind of peeks up the side of his neck. He looks like he's kind of the lead cook right now.
Sure. I'll take a roll on the tattoo.
Sure.
Why not? I've got stats. What am I rolling?
It's on a history check.
Animal handling?
Animal handling. Let's see if we know what this is.
No, I don't. I'm assuming
Dante's like, I don't care.
an 11 doesn't get me there, I'm assuming.
It does not.
Yeah.
Is there any indication to how long it will be before food is ready?
I will say you don't smell anything yet, so that's at least a decent sign.
Okay. What
Half hour minimum.
and what time of day is it?
The sun looks like it probably will set within the next hour.
Okay. Zugarf will say to the if he's still near Fontaine and Domingo, I think Chielbrick already went off. I'm assuming, but I'll just say to the two of them.
I'm setting the table.
Ingvald's still with you guys because that looks like work.
Yeah.
He'll say to the two of Fontaine and Domingo. I don't know how much experience the two of you have in combat, but you both did very well back there. Thank you for having my back.
Gotta watch out for our own out here, you know, and our own happens to be the living.
Indeed.
Well said.
Yeah, I don't know what could be attracting these things to the island. Hey, what attracted us to this island? Right?
Usually when you see zombies, at least from what I've read, there's some sort of evil magic going on.
A lot of statues around, a lot of religious stuff going on. Yeah, it doesn't quite pass the sniff test, does it?
No, it does not. I am interested to hear more of what's happening here and why that was so ordinary.
They seemed unfazed by it, didn't they?
They did.
I didn't even think of that.
They're more concerned about us.
I will kind of abruptly stop my conversation with the two of them and look to Ingvald and just say, and you, don't behave as if you are destined to live forever. Death hangs over you. While you live, while it is in your power, be good now. And then I'll look back to Domingo and Fontaine and just start, continue with the conversation.
You got a gift, my friend. You should be writing greeting cards. I don't know what your normal profession is, but no. Okay, you're an inspiring mind.
Yeah, Ingvald just, his eyes kind of are just like,
You should start a podcast.
they just go wide, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like he kind of looks at Fontaine after Zugarf looks away, looks at Domingo, and it just kind of like, his head just kind of sinks a little. Maybe? You have more things you'd like to say or do?
If I'm setting the table and I'm in the kitchen with that
Elena?
yeah. I'll probably try and drum up a conversation with the guy.
Yeah, okay.
Which
That's easy enough.
I don't think we've gotten a name for him yet.
No.
So I'll chat him. So I'll be like, I see that you appear to be the cook around these parts. My name is Hulbrick. I apologize for getting in way earlier. I was just trying to help out. Thank you for taking us in this evening.
Looked a little distracted at first, but then he meets your eyes, and you see immediate kindness. He just kind of smiles and says, "Well, it's the least we could do to help you out. You helped us out, so
Of course.
you always have a seat at our table."
Well, that's very kind of you. Thank you so much. I couldn't help but notice a large amount of relaxed demeanors regarding the once drowned sailors.
I wouldn't exactly say it's common, but it seems like it's been a little more often lately.
Interesting. Has there been, with the exception of us newcomers, or any changes to the Isle?
There was a ship that recently wrecked, last few days or so. Elder Runar probably know a little more about that.
Of course.
But, got some of the, there's some caves out south here. Normally I tend to the gardens. And I'm not always the cook, but they seem to really like it when I'm the one that does the cooking. Like all the kobolds kind of just like snicker and go. Well, one of them says, "Well, you make good food." You're just like, who's like you turn and you're not even sure who said that.
One of them.
Yeah.
I'll extend my arm and be like, my manners of, I apologize. My name is Shieldbrick, and you are?
It takes your arm. I'm assuming you give a nice strong. Yeah. You definitely have the stronger grip, but
As strong as an 18 strength will give me.
yeah, you definitely win that. But it's respectable. It's not like a wet fish kind of a handshake.
Sure.
Oh, that's the worst.
It's just so
Sorry.
yeah. It is. And it says, "Name's Tarek. Pleasure to meet you, Heelbrick. Here, you mind taking this salad bowl out there?" He just kind of hands you something.
Yeah, I'll be like, of course, and I'll bring that out to the table. And then when I return, I'll just be like, it's an interesting piece of work you have here. I hope I'm not imposing, but it's, I've always thought about getting, tattoos, but I was never actually a sailor. I just kind of worked on the docks, so I felt like I should.
Goes well. Sometimes it's a pretty significant decision. You're young. Make good choices, young man.
It's all we can hope to do. I'll just kind of leave it at that.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely felt him kind of shut down a little bit.
I had a feeling, but I had to try.
Mm-hmm. All right, Elders.
There.
Okay. Does anybody else want to do anything?
So, what was Zugarf gonna do or doing?
Do you think?
So I was say actually, like once our conversation kind of like died down between the three of us and Ingvald, I would just kind of turn to Zugarf and just kind of like, especially if like he stepped like even though just a couple steps away or whatnot. In an Orcish, I would say to him, "So what's her story?"
Ooh.
In fluent Orcish as well. Like it's not like it's
This isn't like you were speaking high school Spanish.
Exactly. Thank you. That's a good way of putting it.
He lived in Spain for years.
He did a semester abroad.
Now watch, Zugarf doesn't know what.
He can order the hell out of some pioneer.
Oh, that would be an interesting chronology. I wasn't raised with orcs. Why do people always assume that?
So the funny thing is, the way I wrote my character sheet just by mistake, I don't have Orcish written down there, but that was a mistake.
You know Orcish, John. It's fine.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
That's why that was the pause. I'm like, should I roll with my mistake and not know it, or should I fix it later on?
Same to you.
Yeah, exactly. He will respond back in common. You should ask her.
Or maybe I should have been more specific. What's she to you?
She was, at one point, a collie.
Is Domingo hearing any of this go down, or did you guys step away?
I would say you could probably hear it, like, because I don't think we were that far away, but like to where it wasn't like said right in front of you. It's not like the three of us were standing there and I just turned and started speaking Orcish to him. I kind of like waited till he kind of like took a step to do something else and kind of stepped there, but I wouldn't say it was more than 10 or 15 feet away. I'm beginning to sense vagueness. Is what you're an expert at. And then I turn to go back to Domingo.
While you guys were having that conversation, I was next to Ingvald, and I was kind of drawing little targets on the wall, or etching targets into the wall with my dagger and trying to show him how to accurately spot across the room, kind of thing.
Yeah. So, okay. Do you want him to throw the dagger against the wall? Like, if you're going for it? Okay.
Yeah, we're doing like a little coaching session.
I love this.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's just go pick.
He does better than he did in the middle of an actual pressure situation.
Yep.
You get to the point where it's like, okay, this guy at least has been shown the proper way to throw a dagger before. Like, he doesn't hit the target every time, but like, it does stick instead. You know, like,
Side spiral.
if he does like 8 throws, like 2 of them don't hit the way they should. Like, he's
Got form down. Yeah.
he's got something going.
Yeah.
We'll say what that is. You can decide that on your own, I guess.
Oh, you got some skill there. You tried to get your feet wet and tried to help us out in combat, and it's all we could ask for, really. I respect it. So.
Yeah, well,
Like,
someday I'll be able to do the things that that Hugh can do, and
man's got to learn to defend himself. Defend his own.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm gonna make a name for myself someday. You'll see.
Yeah, maybe.
What's your name again?
Domingo. Friends
Like
can
that
call me
name.
Dom.
I like that name. Thanks, Dom.
I said friends can call me Dom.
Oh.
Nice to meet you, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he just kind of walks out of the room and starts to head over to where he starts smelling food.
Yeah, and actually, you turn, and as you turn, a kobold, actually, you almost bump into him. And
Apologies.
he kind of is just, he looks up at you, and he's just like bright-eyed. And he has in his hand, he's just like, see this? And it's a dagger. And he's not like wielding it like a weapon or anything like that, but he looks like he wants to show it to you.
Hey, where'd you find this?
He goes, this one's magical.
No way.
Mm-hmm.
Where'd you come by that?
Oh, found it one day, and ever since then, been super lucky. Been great.
All right, then. Did you find it on this island?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Did you
Where'd
find
you
it
get
on
your
a
daggers?
Did you find it on a body?
Uh-huh.
Well,
Is that where you got yours? And you can kind of tell at this point he seems a bit young. Maybe the human equivalent of mid-teens, kind of.
yeah.
14.
Your folks around? They know you got that? So that's a no.
His face kind of sinks a bit when you mention his folks, but no, they're not here.
Sorry, pal. Who needs them, right? I mean,
No.
anyone can become family. Found family.
Well, that's what everybody here is. You'll really like Renara. She's the best.
All right, kid. Well, you
take care of all of us.
I'm gonna get some grub, but you keep that hidden. You keep it safe.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Nobody,
Please.
nobody, catches you walking around with something like that because you. Hey,
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, so I'll see you at dinner then. Okay. He scurries off. All right. So you guys looking to have a meal? Looking to continue talking or investigating?
I think the only thing Zugarf would have done if there was time to do it after all the conversation would just be, one, after all conversation, how much time do you think there would be? Like, are we smelling food at that point? Would it be inappropriate to go and spend 20 minutes, 15 minutes doing something else?
I think if you wanted to do something beforehand, you could.
Okay. So
Yeah.
he would find a spot like pretty high up, facing the sunrise, and just kind of kneel and start sharpening and kind of honing the blade back to an edge, and just kind of sit there afterwards for a few minutes, crisscross applesauce, just looking off into the sunset.
Very Luke Skywalker.
Sure. Well, there's no
Watching the
angst.
suns. Is that no angst? Yeah. Gotcha. Sure. So we'll say you're up in the temple. That's probably the most peaceful, secluded, private spot you could find. Would have been up there. And you'd also have a very clear, beautiful view of the sunset. And yeah, you're able to sharpen your blade, do all that kind of stuff. While he's doing that, does anyone else want to do anything?
I think Domingo is going to. He's gonna find a spot, I guess a nice like quiet spot on the cliffside, and just kind of look out at the open sea.
Sure. Easy enough to do for sure.
Well,
And Fontaine is actually going to pull out a piece of paper and a pen and actually start making some sketches. And like, it's not all just like about a silencer. Some of it is like glyphs and things of that nature. Just kind of like working through what he might be able to do, whether mechanically or magically,
Sure.
quiet it down.
Yeah. Okay. Very easy to do. In fact, section A4, it looks like there's a little library, so you probably have a spot you could just set up shop. And as Zugarf is kind of ready to get up and leave, he just turns and he just sees Elder Renara just standing there watching. You're not sure how long she was there. She just smiles. Everything all right?
I would stand and kind of like give just a respectful kind of like bow or nod or anything. I wouldn't go to a knee or anything like that like last time, but say, forgive me. I don't know much about your customs or this temple, and I hope that's. I hope I've not disrespected you or this in any way by choosing this as a place to reflect.
Not at all. You're welcome here. Have anything on your mind you wish to discuss? There are many smiles wide. Come.
Well,
Let's have a meal.
that sounds lovely. Thank you.
Sounds like you've earned it. And actually, as you go to walk, she takes your arm. Like, walk to dinner. Yeah, so you get to there. It's very clear that everybody's filing in to have dinner. And it's a lovely meal. It's like, there's salad, there's mushrooms, there's fish. It's a very simple meal, but it's very clean, very nutritious. It's very flavorful, actually. You can tell why the kobolds get excited when Tarek is cooking that day. Did you have anything that you wanted to do or say or ask during this? We'll say everybody's there. There's not a dozen kobolds, right? No. And anybody that was curious to count, it looks like there's 8 of them. The movement, you were like, not sure. There's just so many kobolds everywhere.
I wouldn't. Not with everyone wrapped.
Yeah.
All right, so
I was just gonna agree. I think I would engage in whatever conversation and not be rude and not be like, off from the side or anything. But I'll try to get.
I wouldn't necessarily be initiating any conversation.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
I'm enjoying my food, but I am stealing. I guess I'm glancing over occasionally at what was his name? Tarek.
Tarek, yeah.
Yeah, the one with the tattoo.
Yeah.
Kind of just like looking at him, but making it clear to him that I am looking at him. Like there is a little bit of recognition in that glance. But not saying anything, enjoying my meal.
You get the same glance in return when there's that certain look in your eye. He meets it. And like he kind of looks at you, meets the eye, and then just kind of like looks down, like kind of sighs as he continues to eat his food. And at that point, Runara just says, "So, besides being heroic and destroying foul zombies that try to come ashore, why is it that you are here?" It's just kind of open-ended. The 4 of you.
Well, I'm just here seeing the sights. I had worked on some merchant ships and settled in Neverwinter for a while, and decided I needed a little break and caught a ferry out of town. This is where we ended up. I didn't realize it would be cleaning the streets, so to say, cleaning the shores. But
Yes.
hey, is that a regular occurrence here, or?
Bit more as of late.
About when would you say these started?
It's been a while now. But
Oh wow.
it's been a while. They've not been so bold as to come ashore until the last few days.
Perhaps around the time of the shipwreck?
Her eye kind of lights up, meets yours, Heelbrick.
Just a quick little wink, like, I'm doing my homework.
Is very good. What about you? She makes eye contact with Fontaine.
Well, I'm actually here trying to find an observatory. A friend of mine, Fallon, may have passed through here. I got a letter from him, but then I also did get some news that he was killed.
Oh. I'm sorry to hear that.
Are you aware of any arcane observatories on this island?
Yes, I am. There is one here. Many have sought the knowledge contained in that place. I can direct you there. But first you need to show me that you are worthy of such knowledge. You took a very good step today.
What kind of test would that be? You see me kind of like reach in and pull a pen out.
No, we're not. I love it so much. Oh, that was great. She just says, well, there is the shipwreck. That should probably be investigated. And Tarek, you've been mentioning some issues with the Myconids. Tarek has got his mouth full of food at the moment. Says, yes, I've been trying to, Tarek has a southern accent, hold on. Yes, that's right. I've been, unable to get the hardcap mushrooms where I can make the healing potions. Put some kind of weird fungal octopus there in front of the entrance, and I can't talk to my friends anymore. Been concerning. If you do make your way out there, I will got some food scraps that they usually like. It'll be a good gesture of friendship. They'll know I sent you. Oh, and I probably got some, yes. And I got a couple of healing potions I can give you too. Definitely make sure. Come see me before you go.
On all of this, you actually see Fontaine's face just kind of like dark, like go down just a little bit. And slides the pen back in his, in his jacket.
These are not the tests we're looking for.
You don't ask easy things of a solo traveler.
Did you say that again? I'm sorry.
I said, you don't ask easy things of a solo traveler.
Oh, are you not together?
Well, we're not collectively a unit, but I think it's fair to say that we all worked fairly well together.
I mean, I would gladly accompany any help, but I didn't know what all of your goals were here. Didn't want to assume.
I've been predominantly here to speak with you, Elder. However, I would be more than willing to help out you, Fontaine, with, I'm a bit curious about this shipwreck and these caves to the south. And I'm sorry, Tarek, you said something about trying to speak with your friends. Are there other inhabitants on this island, or are you a druid of sorts and can commune with the fungi and plant life?
Just kind of smiles. I like the Myconids. You're simple folk. Easy to be around. I consider them my friends.
Of course. No.
But no, I'm no druid or anything like that. Just got a green thumb.
Of course.
Renara clears her throat. Well, I think the four of you make a good team. Whichever way you wish to go and do things.
5 of us.
Oh. At that point, she turns and looks, and Ingvald looks kind of eager, like, smiles.
Not full of food.
Yeah, well, yeah. Like a little dressing from the ceiling that comes down his face. He's like,
Piece of lettuce stuck in his
yeah. Definitely smiles. Big piece of lettuce. Absolutely. I'm sorry, I didn't see such a brave young man over there.
He's the hero we all hope to be.
At that point, he shoots you a look. Whichever way you wish to do that, I think the shipwreck and helping with the Myconids sounds like excellent ways to show that I could give you the keys to the observatory and give you what you seek, young man.
I would be immensely grateful.
I may be wrong, but it feels as if the issue with the Myconids may be a bit more pressing, especially if you use these to concoct health potions, as these health potions could serve you quite well with dealing with these reanimated corpses that appear to have washed up along your shores.
Well, I am very concerned about them, Yulbrick, so they provide many things, and yes, it would be nice to have access to those ingredients again, so you speak the truth.
If you fear that that is the more pressing concern and what we should focus on first, then first thing in the morning, I'll set to it.
I think that's a fine decision, Runara says. At that point, I think the meal is just about done, and you see some of the other kobolds scurrying around to clean things up. One of them takes Ingvald's salad a little before he was done, but and he's like, he's got, but he doesn't say anything. He's Ingvald. All right. On that note, do any of you have any questions for Runara, Tarek? Barnoth is there, who's just been very quiet the entire time.
Fontaine looks at Varnoth and kind of like makes eye contact, but doesn't say anything.
Yeah.
Which eye?
His feet up on the table.
And so, like, she sees him look at her good eye, like to make eye contact, but then glance at the other eye and then back to her good eye.
Like child position himself, so it's like
I would say she doesn't seem phased by it, but does look like annoyed is probably too strong of a word, but like exasperated maybe by him already. But I think that actually might be a decent spot to end the first chapter of the Dragons of Stormwreck Isle. So, we'll catch you next time. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and say hello to all of these nerds on the screens, and check the description for all the links and things like that. So, thank you so much for watching, and see you at Chapter 2.